Awesome. Okay, so thank you for all of those who've remained to hear me speak. My name is Melanie Araujo, and I'm the founder of Front and Center. And today I'm going to be speaking to you about how I'm leveraging design as a change agent. And before I share with you what Front and Center is, I'd like to start by telling a little story about myself. So let's see. Awesome. Okay, so I'm a designer founder, and what that means is I'm a designer who founded something. I'm also a self-taught designer from Boston. My parents are immigrants from the Cape Verde Islands, to be exact. And the way that I came to learn design is a pretty interesting story. My mentor at the time, after I graduated from university in Boston, my mentor at the time said that I should take a year off to really get to know myself and who I am before I pursue a doctoral degree. And so that's what I did. I purchased a one-way ticket to San Francisco in 2009. I knew one person here in the art community, and I said, you know what, this is the best place for me to go and figure out what I'm really passionate about. After arriving here, I started to develop all these new skills. I focused on usability, user experience design, as well as interaction design. I landed a job at Nielsen, where I travel the world and set up user research labs for Fortune 500 companies. And afterwards, I moved on to a company called Telenav, where I build mobile location sharing apps and automotive navigation solutions. It was really there that my love for design continued to grow. And as my love for design continued to grow, I traveled around the world and exploring different styles and aesthetics that really all influenced my work as a designer in tech. But most importantly, I became a designer in tech when I started teaching it myself to others here in the Bay Area. And this passion for design, I wanted to combine it with something that I bet most of you have experienced here in Silicon Valley, which is one, unconscious bias, okay? And the second, a complete lack of diversity. When I moved out here, I was told that San Francisco was really diverse from Boston. And that wasn't 100% true, and that's okay. But also a lot of unknown factors from both ends, from companies who are willing to hire diverse candidates, and also from diverse candidates themselves. So earlier this year, I quit my job, and I founded an organization called Front and Center. And what we do is we aim to increase diversity in tech, and through teaching design to local, diverse students here in the Bay Area. And our goal is really to increase the recruitment pipeline for product designers. Okay, so these slides, I'm sure everyone has seen these numbers. These are the latest ethnic diversity workforce concentration in tech. And if you can look, the numbers for Black and Latinos in tech is flat out awful, okay? This is way too skewed. It does not make any sense, and there needs to be a change here. But then, there's also this misconception in tech that all careers in tech require you to have an engineering degree or a high level of technical background. And I'm here to say that's not 100% true. Because if you look at all the successful products out there today, most of them were founded by engineers, and most of the founding team members were engineers. However, what makes them attractive to you, and international consumers in mainstream market is design, okay? And then there's this argument that there's a shortage of skilled, diverse candidates. And to find diverse candidates who have these in-demand product design skills is even harder. And largely that's due to the lack of awareness in the messaging that we're sending to diverse communities today. We're saying to get a tech job, you need to go to university and get an engineering degree, or you need to go to one of these many boot camps. But I'd like to point out a couple things, okay? If we look at the history of international music genres such as rock and roll, hip hop, blues, and jazz, all of those were invented by people of color. And if you take a look at these folks that you're seeing in front of you, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Kanye West, and Frida Kahlo, these are all highly creative people, autodidactic people, people who did not have the means to a traditional education. However, what they have been able to achieve with their art and the levels that they've elevated their profession to is unprecedented. So there's a demand for diverse candidates, design is in demand, and people of color are naturally creative. I think we got a solution here for increase in diversity in tech. Oops. Okay. And specifically, the demand is for product designers, people who understand, who can design easy to understand user interfaces that are pleasing to the eye, that are enjoyable to use. The problem is, traditional pathways aren't always affordable for people of color, okay? A 4-year degree costs the same as the average household income level for a family of four from Black and Latino communities. So I worked with people I approached a whole bunch of people who I know, respect, and mentors, and I asked them, what is really needed to become a junior product designer in tech? And by junior product designer in tech, I mean, what are the skills that tech companies are gonna hire you today? So I worked with people like John Mader, former president of RISD. I worked with Kuhn Bach. I worked with designers at Facebook, Google, to collect the data about what's really needed to become a designer in tech today. And this is what they had to say. They said it's a combination of raw talent, it's mastery of tool, effective communication skills. But what was really, really important and interesting to me is that 80% of the people that I surveyed, 100 designers, said that they do not require their candidates to have a degree or formal training in design education, which basically meant that they're completely fine with self-taught designers. So this is what Front and Center is going to be. I'm designing a 6-month curriculum, design training program that will lead to an increase in diversity in tech. We're gonna focus on product design basics. We're gonna teach people how to design sophisticated user interfaces with Sketch, and also the wide range of elements that we do in design, such as pen and paper drawing. We're gonna make sure that they have the material, guidance, and mentorship that they need to be designers in tech. As the people who I worked with in the previous slide will be stepping in, for example, an hour a week to mentor these diverse students on becoming designers in tech. And through Front and Center, these students are going to get the skills that they need to start designing and building user interfaces at prominent tech companies. Second, communication basics. And as most of you in here probably know, most of these students haven't been exposed to a professional workplace environment. So the business communication skills is okay. So we're gonna work with them and teach them how to effectively pitch and sell their designs to PMs, to engineers, to C-suites executives. And lastly, culture basics. This is not to be confused with culture match, okay? We all know that tech has a specific high-paced culture that one cannot simply get into. And you need someone to take you by your hand and to show you around, explain to you what a double opt-in email is, or how to effectively negotiate your salary and stocks. But also, what is a Scrum meeting, and how should I prepare for that Scrum meeting? Afterwards, immediately, it's important that we keep an eye out on these students and that they have a follow-up trajectory upon completing our 6 months training program. So through our partner companies, immediately upon completion, the students will be placed in a paid internship with a prominent tech company. And at that internship, the companies have the possibility to guide them through an internship. They can continue to further their education based on Facebook design, Apple design, Google design, Pinterest design, whichever process and training that that organization feels that it's important for the student to experience in order to increase their chances of getting offered a full-time position there. After the 3 months internship, tech companies then have the opportunity to decide whether they want to hire this diverse, highly skilled design professional by offering them a full-time position or a contractor position. And if the skill set's not quite developed yet, the student already has an amazing portfolio and experience at a prominent tech company that they can take to university and apply for a scholarship. So the results I'm trying to achieve with Front and Center are really needed. First, we want to increase the recruitment pipeline with hireable, high-skilled design professionals so that these tech companies can increase their diversity numbers. Second, I'm designing an alternative educational pathway that is affordable, okay, to a career in tech. It's not necessarily the 4-year fine art degree that's gonna get you a job in tech. I mean, it is helpful. However, And I'm a huge proponent of these systems, just like put it out there. It's just that they're not affordable to poor Black and Latino families here in the US. And this is a pathway that I do hope to scale at some point. And lastly, I'm going to increase the number of diverse role models for these students, because it's extremely important that the first group of students who come through Front and Center will serve as role models for the next group and the group afterwards. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Front and Center students. It just needs to be diverse students who these folks can see themselves in, because it is important that we have these diverse role models to inspire us to pursue a career in tech that does not require an engineering degree. So to sum up everything, Front and Center is a 9-month program, 6 months intensive training with all the material, mentorship provided, 3 months of a guided internship at a prominent tech company. I'm going to start with 20 students from around the Bay Area who've already started to source, and through partner companies. Companies will sponsor a student, which we will then deliver to them a diverse, highly skilled design professional who will bring with them new insights and ideas for the products that they're building and hope to build in the future. And my favorite part is that this program is offered to the students 100% free. So that's Front and Center. Thank you for listening to me. And if you have any questions, feel free to come find me afterwards or visit frontandcenter.co. Thank you.